Hello, it's Anya Divine here. I've just got back and saw the paint still out since this morning, and I thought, look, Maisie's not gagging on a walk, thankfully. She does need to go out, but I thought I'll do a little picture while I'm inspired. I find that at this time of year there's a lot of kind of, well, I don't know if it's going to continue, but I feel inspiration to work, to paint, and especially to respond to the beautiful shapes and light of these flowers. So I'm going to paint the smaller little cup of flowers on that piece of paper, and I'm just putting the daffodils there for the beauty of the video, just because there would be a big space otherwise, and that's I don't actually see the daffodils really from where I'm standing. It's just the teacup. That's a teacup that my daughter gave me, and you know what? I didn't realise, but I actually gave it to her first, she said. I gave it to her. I was saying to her, I love it. And she said, you know, you gave that to me first. And then she filled it with a candle and gave it back to me. And I've since used the candle and regularly now drink my tea with the cup and saucer. So actually, I got a new one for myself as well. So they make me smile, you know, sitting on the windowsill like that, like with the other one inside me. So I think it's the little joys, isn't it, that kind of knit the day together. So here we go. Here's a little joy that I can share with you, hopefully. Yeah, so I prepared this paper earlier because I thought I was going to use it this morning, but I didn't. For my other painting, I ended up using a bigger sheet of paper. Oh, sorry, I put my brushes into the kitchen. Let me just run in and get them. Back into the Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I'm learning a bit more about myself all the time, you know, and there's this thing about me needing to bite the bullet when I get a bit of inspiration to do something. So that's the impetus behind this, and maybe the lack of, you know, the kind of slightly hair-raising kind of carry-on of it. What I mean is, it's not, you know, there's sometimes it's not fully organised. Sometimes it's not fully organised in advance what I'm going to do. So things like the water and stuff need to. It's quite a nice one too, isn't it, for that teacup? I'll show you. So I'm kind of thinking something to describe that. Okay, but first I wanted to. I'd love to have kitchen roll. I could have bought kitchen roll when I was out. Oh yes, I've got some here. Good. Okay, now I want some paint. I'm going to put on some more of that cadmium red that I used this morning earlier with that other painting. There's another painting that I did when I got up at 6:30 this morning, having lingered in bed for about 2 hours, not going back to sleep. I thought, look, I'll just get up and do a painting. And it was a great idea, because I did feel, you know, I'm going to try and do that more often, is go to bed. I didn't go to bed earlier, but I got up earlier this morning. And what I'm wanting to do is to get up earlier. I loved the start of the day, you know, and getting, kind of accomplishing something early on in the day. And I'm not going to apologise for that. I think it's okay to feel the need to accomplish things sometimes, you know, now within reason. Not that it's to justify our worthiness or something, but it just makes for a better, it makes me feel somehow better about my day. I kind of feel a bit more tuned into the day, you know. Well, that's quite nice, isn't it, the runs there? I feel a bit more tuned into the day. I think I'll just leave that as it is now. A bit more tuned into the day early on. Do you you know what, I'm going to paint this as well, just in case I do another one. Might as well have a use for the rest of the red. Yeah, so do you know what? I think there's only going to be 5 people on my online painting course, the one coming up on Sunday. There's just going to be 5 participants on that. So I thought to myself, maybe what I can do alongside that is a series of articles for the Artist and Illustrator magazine, or the Artist magazine maybe, just because I'll have a little bit more breathing space within it, and I'd like to kind of feel as though there's a kind of a momentum to the content, and that it's I don't know, it's something about the significance of it for everybody to feel that they're sharing with a community of artists, not just the few of themselves, which actually is a lovely thing as well. And you know, 5 is not a bad number, because I had 7. I'm looking for the glue here, sorry, rummaging around. I had 7 on the last 2 courses I ran. Oh, here it is. And that was really nice, having 7 folk. It's my fancy new PVA. And of course, when I bought it, I found 2 more massive pots. So I have enough PVA now for a lifetime probably. Well, if I wasn't so trigger happy with it. But I do actually really love using PVA glue, because it really allows you to get the paper flush with the surface there. Okay, a little bit more under that bit. I got this done in Peebles the other day. Peebles is a town in the Scottish borders. I was there yesterday. I suppose I had what I would call an artist date for myself. You know, in the artist way, they say to take yourself out for a date. It has to be you on your own, doing something that you love to do. So I went down to Peebles and I sat in a coffee shop and went to bookshops and different things. Went to an exhibition. I went to an exhibition of work by a whole load of artists, mixed media artists. It's a group called Edge. Look them up. There's a lovely artist on that called Moira Dixon, who does amazing things. She did a lovely piece called Sticks and Stones, and it's just beautifully woven pieces of twig and stone across the way, woven with a wire, kind of a rusty wire. Anyway, it's in the top floor of the library in Peebles, and it's in response to poetry. So these paintings are made in response to poetry, and you might remember me painting Angus McNichol, or Black Angus, for the Artist magazine, Artist and Illustrator magazine actually, before Christmas. And his wife, Gerda Stevenson, is an incredible director, actress, actor, poet, writer. Anyway, she's written a book called Quines, and that's kind of inspired quite a few of the pieces of work that are in that gallery, and the book itself was on sale. So that was exciting to see the connection there, and it was lovely. I'm actually really keen on, I know you know that I'm keen on mixed media from this kind of carry on, but I'm also really interested in, if you follow my newsletter too, you'll maybe see that I love to make things from stones and dried up twigs and bits and pieces around the place. There's something in that really appeals to me. And so I was fascinated by that, and I feel like it's, you know, I'm going to continue exploring that a bit further. I might get in touch with Maura actually. Maura Dixon lives, she used to be a neighbour of mine in Roslin. Inspiring person. I don't know about that, I think I will. Maybe just a little touch of a handle. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I think I'm sticking with paint, at least for now. So I'm going to make my eyes half closed. I'm going to make a colour to represent the shadows in the yellow flowers there. Isn't Maisie been very good? She's not had a walk away yet today. Like, actually, those pieces, that colour looks not unlike the green. Put now a bit more blue. That's just the purple, the darks and the purple flowers back there. Okay. I've got a bit of a sore hip. Sometimes that flares up. Okay. It's not too bad, like. Okay, and then there's a stem out here. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Yeah, I'm just going to use the yellows, the two yellows together. With my eyes half closed. And actually, when I thin it out, the yellow merges with the green behind to make a colour that I think is not unlike the shadows in the yellow flower itself. So that's quite handy. I mean, those petals will go down below the pink, but the pink is still wet, and I don't want it getting involved with the yellow at this stage while it's wet. I want the yellow to remain really clean and separate. And I guess it would be no harm to maybe do something now to represent the green pom-pommy style flowers there. What would I use there? I think maybe the lemon yellow and the sap green would be the two. That'll make that colour, hopefully. And kind of a pressing and lifting might get me the texture with the pad of my thumb there. It's actually really beautifully bright there. Might even need some white, I'd say, into it. Or maybe the lemon yellow will be bright enough to describe those edges. And then lemon yellow really on its own is what's needed, I think, for those petals. So I should really clean the brush better now. so that there's no green at all. Oh yes, my back is really, I could have taken my boots off, I suppose, to feel a bit more grounded here now. Okay, shake it off. You know, we can accumulate things, can't we, in modern life? Just I can kind of gather things up that stress us out, even unbeknownst to ourselves. Just gonna do that now. Oh my goodness. Okay. That's just me taking my boots off, and I feel a little bit more grounded in myself now since I did that. That's good. I would normally say keep a radar up for any physical discomfort, and that it's a good sign that you need to stop. And in this case, I'm overriding that because I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll with this, and I don't want to put it to one side, just now at least, in order to stretch myself out. But actually it's information for me, and after I've done this, before even going on the walk, I will do a yoga for my lower back there. Okay. Kind of half wondering whether I'll do much more to it, really. There's the red tabletop. Possibly might do with a little shadow. You know, there where the cup meets the tabletop. I think that might even be enough. It's good to do less, isn't it? It feels good to do less sometimes. I'd like a Payne's grey now to help me putting that background in, but do you know what? I can make Payne's grey easily enough here. The only colour that might be missing to make my Payne's grey might be white. But let's see if I need it. Ultramarine blue and cadmium red, and then sap green in there. Should give me something like Payne's grey. Bit more blue. I want it to read as the background, the colour of the curtains in the shadow, because I'm going to chip in a little bit with that colour to create the shape of the space between the petals. And I could use some masking tape to create vertical wrinkles where the shadow of the curtain stops and the lighter bit begins. So that's helping me to create that edge there. You see, I don't know if I need to do something more there or not to blend it back in. That'd be okay. I think that same edge is revealed here too. And I will put the yellow below the tabletop once it's dry enough, once the pink is dry enough. There's some red paint on that there that got onto the yellow. I'll maybe just wait for that to dry and work over it when it's dry with the yellow again. Stand back there now for another overview. Yeah, so there is an edge to the teacup. I think I'll use white paint for that. I'll just put a dollop of white onto the palette there. So I don't think I'll need much white now. But just a wee bit to explain the shine on the rim of the cup. And a little bit of a shine there too. On the inside of the handle. Maybe a touch of that white along with the lemon yellow will give me a bright enough colour and a light enough colour to lift the brightness of that petal there. And one that extends out here too. And there's a couple, I don't know, are they really that bright? They are. I'll go with that colour, that's fine. Maybe a little bit more yellow in this one here. That's Margot, using you as a scratch pole. And there will be one going down there. I could maybe work over the red paint as well now that I've got this yellow nice and thick on the brush. Down there, and that'll come down over there. I guess what I could do with those areas, if I wanted to finish it now, is I could stick on a little bit of the yellow paper to describe the petal that's overlapping the table there. Don't know if it'll look a bit weird, make too kind of clunky a thing against all the paint, but we'll see. Might work. Something about when I've seen it, I want to do it, you know, I don't want to go away and leave it. I think I get away with that. Could have done with a longer piece actually. I'll just pull it down. And I can put a touch of yellow on to the gap in between. You can see where that's disconnected. And then maybe just a really thick bit will cover the, it might cover the pink. A thick bit of paint. It's a bit of a risk. I'll try it. That's okay. So this is mount board that I put clear gesso on the clear gesso's got a kind of a texture to it. I wasn't sure I liked the texture, but it's working for me here. It's kind of slightly sandpaperish. Okay, and then there's a few smaller pieces extending back there. I wonder, should I do something in the background to describe the light on the curtain? I think I won't. I think I'm going to just leave it at that, which is kind of unusual for me, isn't it, to just leave it half, like it's kind of half done. But I've had a hankering to leave things half done that I haven't followed through on for quite a while. So I'll bring the painting over to you so you can see it. I think the runs are still making their way down the page there. And I might do some more. If I do, I'll put it on video. That's my plan. But that's what it is for now. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for joining me. My name is Anya Devine. If you want to have a bit of this carry on, the space is on the course on Sunday, starting on Sunday. And we'll be doing this kind of thing together for 6 weeks. Okay, that's me signing off. Lots of love. Bye everybody.